right, what's up, YouTube? We're gonna get back at this. I am a little bit late and not as consistent with these study with me's as I would have hoped. I initially planned on doing this weekly, but we have taken a hiatus. But nonetheless, we are back and we are excited to get some work done. I need this, you guys, to serve essentially as my accountability family. So I appreciate you guys doing that. Hopefully, I can serve that function for you guys too. But we're gonna get back to kind of a 45 minutes on, 15 minutes off. As always, I show you guys myself, but my phone goes here. So it's out of sight, or it's not out of sight, but at least it is locked up and it will not bother me. There. And I will be spending today working on research. Today's a big research day for me. I need to do research. Research it's always the thing that's like, it's just activation energy or like, momentum kind of thing, where it's like, I just have to get started and then it's fine, but it's always hard getting started. So that's what this is for. That's what you guys are for. Hopefully I can serve that, again, purpose for you guys too. What's good, Elijah? What's good? For his glory. Perfect timing. Nice to see you guys. Happy that you guys are here. We're going to crank out some nice work. I have some lo-fi going. Feel free, let me know in the chat if the music's too loud, too quiet. If my audio is too loud, too quiet, let me know. Just trying to dial in settings since it's been a little while for me. But hopefully this is going to be a great session. I don't know how long it's going to go. Hopefully at least 2 hours. Definitely at least 2 hours, but we'll see. As always, ideally, you can take the bio breaks now. Before we get going, so that you will be undisturbed for the next 45 minutes. Phones, in my opinion, throw them away. And then we will get started. Let me know, again, in the comments if you have any questions or anything like that. I will answer those during the 15-minute break. And these can be questions about anything: study tips, pre-med, med school, residency, path to becoming a doctor. Those are things that I feel very comfortable talking about and answering. And if there are questions that I don't know, then we'll talk through it as a group. But let's keep going. All right. Work session number 1 in the books. Hope everybody got some nice work done. Elijah, nervous, thinking about going into orthopedic surgery. I feel you. I was very nervous as well, still nervous, and I'm in it. I think one of the unique things about medicine is that no matter what you ultimately end up doing, most people are usually going to be very happy with the path that they choose, but the route to get there will by definition be stressful, exhausting, all of the things that make you nervous. And so, it's not an uncommon experience to feel nervous, about choosing a specialty, oh, am I muted? Can you guys hear me? No? It looks like, let me see. Oh, maybe not muted. Okay. But yeah, you will, experience nervousness throughout the process of choosing a specialty. But then also through like every day of training in that specialty, the nerves will just be different. And so I think, not shying away from the feelings of nervousness, but recognizing that they are, sweet. I'm glad that you guys can hear me, but recognizing that they are, a part of the process is important. And then just recognizing what type of nervousness and stress do you want to, deal with, because every specialty will have unique ones. But orthopedics has a lot. And for the surgical specialties in particular, I think the main stressors are time-based. Usually we'll spend more time in the hospital away from, your bed, family, friends, those kind of things. You may spend more time, not doing those kind of things early. And, for me, I have 2 kids. That was one of the main stressors, and it is one of the main stressors that I experienced. So, just being as straightforward as I can. That's probably the hardest part. But that's going to be hard no matter what you do. But surgical specialties, it is a little bit more of a grueling training process. But afterwards, no matter what you do, you'll be able to control your schedule to a certain degree and kind of, use your time however you wish. But I actually just made a video on like how to choose your specialty, and I think there's like a few kind of general principles. One is like you have to like the medicine. You have to like the actual thing that you're doing. The best way to tell that is what you're staying awake on during medical school and the things that you actually are excited to learn about. Like if you wake up and you're just like, oh, I'm excited, to see what this lecture is going to be about and how I can learn about it or whatever. And watching the sketchy videos or the Boards and Beyond videos are actually like exciting to you. That's a good sign compared to the ones where you're just like sleeping and, wanting the lecture to end and the block to end. And then the other thing is like finding your people. There's a saying like find your people, find your specialty. I like very strongly believe in this. And part of it can contribute to some lack of diversity in certain fields of medicine. But there's a certain like culture in every field of medicine, and that's why the memes exist, right? Like if you watch any, like funny, like social media, medical meme pages, like ortho has a very strong personality, but like to a certain degree, like they're funny because they're relatively accurate. And so recognizing that is important because you're going to be spending a significant amount of time, not only in that specialty, but around the people in that specialty. And you have to like the people that you work with. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable, even if you love the medicine. It's something that I don't think people talk about enough, but I think is incredibly important. And then all the other things like, how much money that they make or what the training experience looks like. I don't think that those are as important, but kind of last factors, if you're between 2 or 3 things that you absolutely love, then I think looking at, financial security and like length and intensity of training can be additional factors. But hopefully that helps, Elijah. Let's see him. Kayla, what's up? Nice to see you. Let's see, I have an immunology exam on the 26th, but I can't stay concentrated with Pomodoro even after 10 minutes. Yeah, dude. So this is a comment just about like it's so hard to focus. Even with Pomodoro cycles. Oh, I forgot to put our rest timer on here. We'll go 10 minutes. You guys know I do this like almost every time. It's so hard to stay focused, even with Pomodoro cycles. And it's mostly because our brains at this point are just like, they can't focus just in general. One of the things that you can do in the long term is to support practices that help retrain your brain to be able to focus, which is like tolerating boredom is all you have to remember. If you want to think about like, how can I become better at focus? Just tolerating boredom better. So that means not reaching for your phone. That means not like going on your phone during commercials. If you're watching TV, that means being able to like sit present and just like sit and not do anything. Like, like whether that's meditate or literally just like sit and like look at the wall for a few minutes every day. But practicing tolerating boredom will allow your brain to be able to focus a little bit better. And then of course, in the short term, like things like, this hopefully, a kind of a communal accountability group of people studying and getting work done will be helpful. Removing distractions, all those kind of things can help too. But you're not alone. So I personally empathize with you. Jared, what's good, man? And good to see you. So I'm wearing the stand shoes. He asked what shoes do I wear in the OR right now? I'm wearing the stand shoes. I absolutely love them. They made me nervous at first because like they were kind of tough on the inside of my foot. But they wore in pretty well, and now I absolutely love them. They're like bright white with like the black bottoms, and I wear white OR shoes, which is extremely bold. But I don't know, I like them, and it keeps me honest because I have to clean them after the OR every day to keep my shoes clean. All right. No worries at all, Ferris. Yeah, I was hoping that my audio was coming through sweet. Let's see, submitted Mayo Secondary last month. Oh, let's go. Ferris submitted the Mayo Secondary. Congratulations. Yeah, they definitely really appreciate communication. So, sending in like letters of interest or letters of intent, those kind of things, Mayo does value. So, if you're super interested, I would recommend sending one of those in there. What's up, Aaron? Gaurav, almost done with rotations, tired. Tough to find motivation. I feel you. I definitely feel you. And that's the thing with motivation is that it's like, it is energy based. So if you feel like you're like, after your energy is dwindled, it's very difficult to find motivation. I empathize with that deeply. I think one of the best things that you can do is find things that like re-energize you. And oftentimes people associate that with like just rest. But funny enough, rest isn't the only thing, or not even the most important thing that we can do to actually re-energize and remotivate us. Everyone will have a unique thing. So like experimenting with it is important. But like for me, it's literally just taking a walk with my dog. Oftentimes, like sometimes I'll bring like my kids or go for a family walk. But for me, the thing that boosts me the most is just like time by myself. Sometimes I listen to a podcast, sometimes I don't listen to anything, and just like take a walk with my dog. And then that's my thing. And so I know that I have my thing. And so when I do when I get to those moments of like, just exhaustion, I'm burnt, I feel like I can't get out of bed, and I'm just like, that's a trigger to me to do my thing. And unfortunately, living in Rochester, Minnesota, it's not a year-round opportunity, so I'm going to have to experiment and find some other things that I can do that do not involve being outside. But I think if you find something where it's just like, okay, sleep is something that we can't always control, like how much sleep we get, and sometimes that doesn't also remotivate you. But if like experiment with something that's like your thing, exercise for some people, walks, reading the Bible, doing some faith-based practices, meditation, just hanging out with family, friends, whatever it is. I think that's like key to being able to, because you won't stay motivated, but being able to reignite your motivation is just like finding your thing. Sweet. Yeah, Ferris, Mayo, our Rochester campus is growing. They've invested like a couple, like I think billion with a B dollars into the city of Rochester. to basically turn it into like the whole city is gonna be Mayo, which is in the season of construction, not as fun, but exciting. One thing that I always do on these is obviously I don't have any like external ads or anything, but I do like to shout out a resource that I did create just because I subjectively, I think it's objective, but it's technically subjectively think it's the best resource for pre-med and medical students on the planet. But it's a 30-day course. It's called the Evolving Student Challenge. I talk about it on these as well as throughout my videos, and I just want to share with you guys. But essentially, it's a course where you're going to get like 30 days worth of videos on various topics. Actually, let me see if I can do this here. Oh, no, that's not it. See, guys, it's been so long since I've been here that now I can't even remember how to do my little screen share. Okay, here we go. Hold on. And then we will do that. Oops, that's not it. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to figure this out. Essentially, though, what this is, and you guys can actually see this just on my website. There's a link in the description below or attached to this video. But this is a 30-day course where every day for 30 days, you're going to get a video and it goes over topics like mindset stuff, like things like that we talk about, like staying motivated, all those kind of things, as well as more like tangible student-based like thoughts and things like that, like test taking strategies, all of that kind of stuff. And so you'll get one of those every single day for 30 days, as well as access to my Notion templates. And let me see, I should be able to actually show you guys my Notion template so I can show you guys what this would look like. Here, let's see, evolving student workspace. Here we go. And this is literally the exact Notion template that I used when I was going through. Oh, wait. There we go. So now it's showing that. When I was going through medical school, this is literally the exact same thing that I used. But I want to show you this. Okay. So this is like the Notion template that you get access to. So there's kind of 3 chapters within the course, but and this is just kind of goes with some of the homework that you have throughout the course. It's literally like 5 minutes a day worth of things because I know all of us are busy and we don't have time and bandwidth for like long drawn out courses. But this Notion page, on the home page, there's a Pomodoro cycle. You guys know I like 45-minute Pomodoro cycles. This kind of, there's a quote. You can obviously customize and change this however you want. And then I have this kind of thing here because it gives me a sense of urgency. It's like, okay, week just started. I'm only 25% done with the week, but it's like, oh, I'm 37% done with my life. Like, okay, I need to be doing something. There's a habit tracker. And then there's a place for your bio. So we walk through filling out all of this. This is actually, I think, one of the best parts of this is filling out the bio because it gives you a sense of purpose in it. We walk through determining your mission statement and your values and all those kind of things, and it kind of gives you some direction. We have a place for goals, so you can kind of set, personal, social, relationship, all the goals that you have. And again, part of filling this out is actually part of the course, but which is probably most helpful for students. To-do list, of course, relatively basic, but it comes up here as well as on a calendar, which I think is helpful. And then projects. Projects I personally use for like research projects and things like that. But again, we walk through it. And then, of course, space for your notes. So you can kind of have notebooks. You can add a notebook by just clicking the button. You come in here and you can, add notes. And again, we walk through everything. So this is what the Notion template looks like. And again, you get 30 days worth of videos, one a day. I personally think it's the best resource for pre-med and med students, but I might be a little biased. Oh, Perry, what's good? Let's go, Perry. Shout out to you, bro. Elijah, my pleasure, man. You rock. All right. So if any questions come up about anything, please throw them in the chat. I think I have one more 45-minute session in me before I end my day with some dinner with the family. But I do appreciate this. Is like, I wasn't going to do research without you guys being here. So, and if you guys do find this helpful and valuable, let me know, and I will try to make it more of a regular thing because it actually helps me. So even if you don't let me know, I probably will still do it. All right, let's get back to the grind. right. Session 2 of 2 done. Thank you so much again, guys, for joining me in this study session. I would not have done this. I wouldn't have gotten this work done without you guys. So hopefully the feeling is mutual, even though I'm sure that you guys are a little bit more disciplined than I am, and you probably would have gotten the work done either way. But hopefully at least this may have made it more fun, more enjoyable doing it as a community. I don't see any additional questions in the chat, so I will leave you all here. Little word of wisdom to leave you guys with before I do leave is a story that I just wrote about this in my newsletter. It was a podcast with Coach K and Shane Battier. Coach K is a renowned college basketball coach for Duke. And Shane Battier was one of his best players back in 2001 when they won the national championship. And Coach K basically told this story about how he wanted Shane Battier to come into the role of being one of the best players on the team and wanted to kind of grow his confidence. And Shane Battier's natural disposition was more reserved, he was very humble. He was more passive, on the court and just reserved. And Coach K wanted him to kind of, be the man, the main person on the team. And so for a few days, he would call him repeatedly at night and ask him questions like, did you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to be the ACC player of the year? And Shane Battier would say no. And right when he said no, Coach K would hang up the phone and call him back a little later. Did you look yourself in the mirror and say that I'm going to lead my team to a national championship? And Shane Battier would be like, no, coach. And right when he said no, Coach K would hang up the phone and repeat this cycle for a few days, multiple times at night. And the last time he called, and said same kind of thing. Did you tell yourself that you're going to be in the running for the National Player of the Year? And Shane Battier said, wait, coach, just don't hang up. And Coach K responded by saying, I'll stop hanging up on you when you stop hanging up on yourself. And the whole idea behind this story is it's easy for us to put limits on what we can achieve. And sometimes it's people outside of us that can be the primary source of kind of identity formation and telling us, that we are capable to achieve things that we may not think possible for ourselves. And having people around you that push positive identity formation, ideas to you is incredibly important. And I just share that because I think, building a community of people like Coach K around you who are saying you can be, the best orthopedic surgeon, that you can be, or whatever you want to define as best or whatever, or you can be the best dermatologist, you can be the best medical student, the best pre-medical student, whatever it is. And, having people who are pushing that identity onto you is helpful. And this community helps me. And so I just say that because the stronger we build this community, the stronger we will individually be. So I don't know. I loved that story. I just heard it. I wrote a newsletter about it and was like, I'm just going to share it to you guys too. So hopefully you can find some type of value in that. But as always, keep evolving, and I'll see you guys in the next one.